I have just received a delivery of the leather seat cover for my RAV4 2024 hybrid model. So I bought this off AliExpress for just under 400 Australian dollars. Well, it is advertised as being of original leather. By the look of it, I think it is. It's a really nice feel. Before even being put onto the seat as yet, there are a lot of straps and little hooks here to affix it into the on top of the seat. It's got a very spongy, bit of a sponge type section for the middle one. So that bit, middle perforated bit, it's got some sponge material for comfort, I believe. The holes are already pre-punched for the headrest points. So I'm going to go and try and fit it in and see how it looks and how it fits in my car. So the car I have is actually it's actually a brand new car I just received yesterday, and the seat cover came in today just in time. So one thing to note is this base cover has a short trim on this side and a longer trim. So the longer trim has to be on the inside, so that means this side is longer and short, so longer one has to be inside, which means this is for that side. So to help fit in, you just gotta undo this little bit of a rubber elastic bit from the hook underneath, so you can try and squeeze this in. Just be careful with the wire and stuff there. I think this wire is for the airbag. Just be careful to route the thing around it. It's a bit tight, so it's got to be prepped for a bit of fiddling around. Alright, so what I've done is one of the elastic from the side I've hooked onto this little lever. So these three tethers, 1 to 3rd, go all the way through to the other side, and the other similar elastic like this coming from the side is hooked onto another little lever here. So I guess it depends on your car. Just find a spot where you can really hook it so it's tucked in properly. So the end product is this. I mean, that's a bit of my hair oil there, but I couldn't distinguish this from original leather. So it looks perfect. So the next step is you hook it back to this tether points, and then I put this one back on. Then it's all tucked in properly. So that's how you do the bottom part. I'll do the seat next, then the headrest next, and do the rear ones afterwards. The top one, so the airbag has to be on the seat belt side, and it's got a chain here, so I'll just undo the chain and try and sleeve it from top to bottom. And you gotta tuck in this one underneath, and that one has to go back around underneath as well. Alright, first thing to note is you need to put the top cover first, then only this, because then you need some room for this to tuck in. So I went up ahead and did this first, so yeah, I need to take it out and redo it. But yeah, just lessons learned. So I've tucked in inside, so I've got these two holes covered as well. Push a little bit of flap underneath to the back, and I'm trying to tuck in the edges on the side. Now I'll put the bottom one back on. Yeah, so this is the end result. I couldn't see any difference between the original or the factory standard leather ones and with this one, to be honest. And it feels very comfortable too, and fits perfect. There's a bit of high areas here, but I think that might settle with time. If not, that's something I have to put up with. So the headrest has a standard with a bit of a velcro on it, loop and hook. So you literally just, I guess, just push it in and tighten it and off you go. So this is how it looks like. It doesn't fit perfect, but I think that's the best you could do for an aftermarket tailored piece. I hope over the time it'll set itself a bit better and form the shape around the headrest. But because I'm very happy with the seat cover itself, I don't think this is much of a problem. Yeah, so that's the end result. I am more than happy with the investment of just under 400 Australian dollars and have this quality leather trim on my brand new RAV4. So that's a good outcome, I think. So this is the 60 side of the rear top cover. So that goes on top like this, and there's a bit of a chain to let the armrest kind of fall down. So there's a chain. I'm expecting there's some sort of chain. Yeah, it's got an open gap at the back, so I can just literally just tuck it from top to bottom, drop it down from top to bottom, and tighten around at the edges at the bottom. Then I'll try and fix the other side. It'll be similar to the front one. Yeah. Anyway, I'll find it when I get there. So to do the rear ones, especially the seat, there's 2 points just around here and same spot on the other side. You gotta pull that up a bit. It's a little connection. You gotta apply force with 2 hands. That will take off that little hook in that white slot. See how that will get off your bottom piece. So this will really help you. You gotta take off that little, I think you gotta take off that little connector as well if you want to take it off the whole thing. If not, you can just leave it there, and you can just put the cover on top and put all the tethers and the hooks on, installed, and go from there. So the cover is like it's a long covering through 3 seats. It's a long one. You just need to, it's just sits on top, and it's got a little hole to accommodating for the hook. That hook on either side, and you need to just be careful with the airbag wire, or I don't know if that's a seat belt. I don't know what that is. I think it's just a pressure sensor for detecting passenger weight. And yeah, cover that. And yep, so I have lined this up. For some reason it doesn't line up on this side. Maybe I need a bit of a pushing towards the bottom. Also the velcro here is covered by this, so I need to pull that out and try and stick it closer. For some the baby seat point, the hook point doesn't line up well at the back. It's like maybe like 1 inch below than it should be, but maybe I can just push it up a bit and make it work. There's no hole for the middle one, so worst come most likely I'll cut a hole through there. Will not look good, but it is what it is, I guess. So looks like the rear one is not as well fitting as the front one. Yeah, front one's pretty impressive actually. Yep, so the rear one is sort of done. So the bottom, you got another 3 set of velcros you wanna lower it in and try and get it under the seat and behind. You'll feel it when you actually look for it. So you just tuck that back in for all two. Then I'll do similar for the third seat there. Tie this up, put it all back in. So I've taken the whole thing off into my house because it's a bit too dark in the garage. So as I said before, it's just a few of these tether lines you gotta connect to this side and try and tuck it in as tight as possible. There are a few tricky bits where these lines go above these sensor connectors, so I might have to reroute this somehow so it doesn't stress the cable through there. And so that's I've just wiped it off with the disinfectant tissue, wet tissue. So that's the final look. There's a lot of interwinding connections there, but that's the outcome. Looks pretty good. So one thing I had to do was I had to just cut through the fabric, the leather, to get this hook that goes into that slot there on both sides, if you can see. And now I'll slowly connect the seat sensors, and then I'll try and tuck this underneath, get those seat belt connectors through those gaps properly. One thing to note is because there's a lot of thickness on this cover, it's pretty hard to put it back into that locking point there. So I had to really cut around, not just a little slit, I had to cut the whole space around, so there's some bit of movement there for this to go and set in. Otherwise I couldn't just press it in with the little slit I had done before. So it's got to go a bit wider, bit of just enough to cover that whole area, including that little holding point. And I really had to sit on it with my knees on top and bang it to get it locked in. Just keep note of that.